As you know, President Obama has asked Congress for approval or not a declaration of war, but some type of resolution for him to have the use of force. And now the debate has erupted. Basically, the hawks and the doves, those who say we have to have more boots on the ground, we have to hunt them down, we have to kill them, versus those who say, no, let's make this quick, in and out. And creating the language in such a bill is going to be the devil in the details. But I want to resume the discussion about just war and the use of force and the mistakes that we made with going into Iraq. Just war can happen for many reasons. It can happen to right a wrong. It can happen to retrieve something that was stolen. It can happen to have a legitimate government, a change of government. We went to Iraq because we had faulty information. It was probably known by very high-level people that this information that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction was probably known at the highest levels, that we've got bad intel here. And as it turns out, we had bad intel. It's very possible that people in our government and the English government knew that the intel was bad, but had it with Saddam Hussein. But the problem is America has a policy of not assassinating foreign leaders. So rather than just have a missile strike on Saddam Hussein and just kill him and say, and look at the Iraqi government and say, we'll kill the next guy and the next guy and the next guy if you don't stop doing these things. They had to spill enormous amounts of human blood, American blood, Iraqi blood, because they wanted to participate in what? A regime change? Nation building? The discussion that we need to be having is around killing bad guys, not nation building. So right now, Yemen is falling into the hands of devout Muslims who are going to institute Sharia law, all right? You have to understand that the so-called Arab Spring it was a farce from the beginning. It was a bed of weeds and thorns that intended to scourge Christians, Judaism, polytheism, any type of religion that did not submit to the dictates of Islamic Sharia law. We need to be talking about going in and killing these people and getting out, right? That, by the way, we've gotten to the place where speeches like General Patton would make would be deemed as offensive and politically incorrect and insensitive and unkind and bullyish. If you've never seen the movie Patton with George C. Scott, I encourage you to do so. It's got some very rough language, inappropriate language, using the name of the Lord in vain. But from what I've read, it is a fairly accurate rendition of who Patton was. And his use of God's name in vain notwithstanding, he had a proper understanding of war, the purpose of war, why we were fighting and what our intention was. And he intended to kill Nazis, okay? We need to kill these Islamic militants, and we need to make the hard choices that sometimes women and children are going to be killed because of how we fight now and because of the treachery that they have, ISIS has, against their own women and children. You understand? They're using their women and children as shields. So we have to decide, like we did with other bombs in other wars, are we prepared to just accept that there are going to be what is now called euphemistically collateral damage in order to kill these guys? We need to have wars of retribution. A major in the U.S. Army told me that when we lived near D.C. A man became a friend. He said, what America needs to do is change its doctrine to wars of retribution. You have done this to us, and now this is what we're going to do to you. To take a lesson out of the Israeli playbook. I'll be right back to talk about Hillary. Who's in hiding? I don't think so. I have been a leader in the pro-life movement for 30 years, and sadly we have not prevailed in our goal to make it a criminal act to kill an unborn baby. There's reasons why we have failed. I wrote this book, A Humble Plea, to Catholic bishops, to evangelical clergy, and to lay people, explaining where we went wrong and what we have to do to prevail. We've made this available as a PDF online for free. I encourage you to go and download your own copy. Why does a nice guy like me keep getting thrown in jail? I have been arrested almost 50 times and spent over a year of my life locked up in various prison facilities. And I wrote a book, many books. In fact, one of them is called Why Does a Nice Guy Like Me Keep Getting Thrown in Jail? It's a theological work, answering those who say that the church should not be involved in politics or that we should retreat. I encourage you to get it. In fact, get one and give it to your pastor.